You guys want this George Kittle jersey? Like this official Nike limited edition Scarlet George Kittle jersey? I know you do. How about a Nick Bosa one? You want a Nick Bosa one instead? Listen, we're going to talk more about how you guys can go ahead and get one of these sent to you by yours truly, by us here at Chat Sports. It's super easy. We'll get into more details on that here in just a little bit. But these things are selling like hotcakes, and we're giving them away like hotcakes too. So very special people. We'll talk more about how we do that here in just a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our first bit of news here, and that is Richard Sherman, his controversial, I guess you could say, comments on a local San Francisco radio station just this week when he was asked, point blank, what are you going to be doing for free agency? What are you going to be doing in terms of football in 2021? And I'll be honest, Richard Sherman was not necessarily confident or did not seem confident in terms of being back with San Francisco next season. Now, he didn't officially just say, I'm not going to be a 49er. We'll have the quote for you guys here in just 1 second. But it is a little interesting if you look at the money, you look at how Richard Sherman has played this year, it might be a little bit too expensive for Sherman to go ahead and come back as a San Francisco 49er. We've talked about this a lot here on the channel, but this was the first week that Richard Sherman has actually addressed these, I mean, I guess we call them rumors overall about where he will play because, of course, he is a free agent here in 2021. I will ask you guys this, though. Drop a like right now if you want Sherman to go ahead and come back in 2021. Because, again, you got to re-sign him. You give him a brand new deal. Maybe he plays safety or corner, who knows? But if you want him back, I want to see that like button go up right now because I'm a little torn right here, but I'll be honest. If he can keep playing well, at a high level, I think his experience, knowledge, and really veteran leadership in that 49er locker room is invaluable. And so I'm leaning towards liking it. So hit the like button right now down below, kind of by the subscribe button below me right now. Now, here with Richard Sherman on a local San Francisco radio station on his future, quote, I'm definitely playing football next year. Just don't know where I'm going to be playing football, unfortunately. The business of business of football is just the business of football. It's undefeated, and I think the organization values me, and I love this organization. I love this team, but you can't stop the business of football. So doesn't know where he's going to play next year, but I think the more notable news is he will be playing next season. There was some thoughts that Sherman, at the course the age of 32, which is pretty old in terms of cornerbacks in the National Football League, or Darrelle Revis didn't play much longer after 32. At that age, cornerbacks tend to want to hang up the shoes, but it doesn't seem like Richard Sherman wants to do so. He definitely has had a limited season this year, dealing with that calf injury that kept him out for like 4 or 5 games. He played well 2 weeks ago. Not so great against the Buffalo Bills, but I think is still an elite cornerback in the National Football League, or at least we can say a serviceable starting level quality cornerback, because I'll be honest, there really is only 1 or 2 true lockdown corners. One is Xavier Howard down with the Dolphins out of Baylor, and the other is the true, Revis Island as we've seen it recently, and that is Jalen Ramsey, who's making a ton of money. I mean, it's gracious with the LA Rams, but he is truly shut down. Sherman no longer at that caliber, but still, honestly, a very good player, and for the right price, I'd be all for him going forward. The problem the San Francisco 49ers have is, like, their entire secondary is a free agent next year. I mean, it's ridiculous. You look at this list. Sherman, free agent next year. K'Wan Williams, who I definitely want back. Great slot corner. He's a free agent. Barrett, the other starter. Dante Johnson, Jamar Taylor. I mean, the list goes on and on here. You got Kevin Witherspoon, Emmanuel Moseley, Jaquiski Tart, Ken Webster, Marcel Harris. The only starting defensive back right now in San Francisco who signed long-term is Jimmy Ward. The rest are completely up for grabs. So the question is, do you re-sign guys who might cost a little bit more, are a little bit older, but understand the system, or you go ahead and draft somebody? It's a pretty good draft class here in 2021. Patrick Surtain is one of the guys that we think will be a top 10 pick, maybe top 15 pick. He's easily the best cornerback out of Alabama. Caleb Farley out of Virginia Tech opted out this year, but is, by all the intangibles and the measurables, one of the better cornerbacks in the league. You got Jace Horn from South Carolina, Sean Wade from Ohio State, and Tyson Campbell from UGA up there in Athens. All of these are NFL caliber cornerbacks. Probably only 1 or 2 would go in the first round, but San Francisco could look to potentially re-sign Sherman, let Barrett, Witherspoon, and Moseley go, and then draft a Jace Horn or a Sean Wade later on in the draft to give the veteran a rookie to mentor and hopefully grow into the next great cornerback in San Francisco. I will ask you guys this, though. Looking like, the first round draft pick is going to be important, as it always is in San Francisco. What's their biggest draft need? We'll do a ton of draft stuff in the offseason, obviously, so stay tuned for that. But right now, if you had to pick, is it cornerback? Is it D-end? Is it O-line? Is it something else? What is their biggest draft need? Like right now, if you had to tell me right now what is their biggest draft need, let me know what that is in the comment section down below. For me, it's corner. It could be pass rusher, maybe. On that yet. Could be offensive line. Either way, I think these 3 are definitely 3 big draft needs for San Francisco overall. All right, quickly before we move on to some more news and rumors here, quick look at the Week 14 odds. Washington, obviously at San Francisco, which is really at Arizona because they'll be in Glendale. Right now, Washington is 3-point underdogs, which honestly, to me, is a little surprising. Now, of course, 3 points meaning, they're going on the road, which normally gives you 3 points to the home team. But this is as even of odds you possibly could get. A good chance to possibly win some money by betting either for or against San Francisco. Over-under to me looks about right. 43 sounds. I don't think it's going to be a very high-scoring game overall. But either way, a very interesting matchup. We'll talk more about that here on the show a little bit later. But right now, I'll go back to those jerseys we talked about at the beginning of the show and how you can get your hands on one. Great promo running right with our friends at BetUS. Been working with them all season in terms of betting on not just the 49ers, but other NFL and other sporting events as well. All you got to do is play now at chatsports.com/49bet. So go to the little link down below at the bottom of the screen. You got to put in the link. That way it tells us that you went there. And then use the promo code Niners125 to get that 125% deposit bonus when you put down $100. Again, new customers only. If you've done this a while back, sorry, we're only doing new customers. But if you go to the link, and then you put the $100 deposit down, and you use our promo code Niners125, we will send you this jersey right here. Literally, this official Nike, not cheap knockoff, real deal Nike Legend Scarlet George Kittle jersey, or if you want, a Nick Bosa one. All you got to do after you sign up is email us at the email at the bottom of the screen, 49ers@chatsports.com to redeem your jersey. You got to email us. That way you say, hey, I put my deposit down, $100, I'm brand new, and we confirm, and then we get your address and send you guys a brand new jersey. So great deal, great promo code, chatsports.com/49bet. Okay, we mentioned this a couple weeks ago on a live show, and that was the idea of Matt Stafford going to San Francisco. The rumor has grown a little bit because the NFL Network's David Carr brought this up again. This is not just something that a blogger said. It's like, well, Matt Stafford could be good. Sure, but now we're getting some legit NFL media guys who are connected saying this is being discussed and could be a real possibility for the 49ers. I honestly think the Lions need to go ahead and restart. They need a new coach. They need a new GM. I want to pair that with a brand new quarterback for the new era in Detroit. And Matthew Stafford, I think, needs a fresh start. He's been extremely undervalued, utilized, as they say. The weapons minus Calvin Johnson, he's had no defense, but the weapons have been absolutely abysmal in Detroit. I think right now the 49ers could not only release Jimmy G and then trade for Matt Stafford, but there's a possibility that this could happen. And he's one of the guys in terms of trade candidates to me that would make the most sense. You guys always want to know, Thomas, what's a quarterback the 49ers could trade for? I think Stafford is at the top of that list right now, ahead of guys like Matt Ryan, ahead of guys like Carson Wentz. I think Stafford would make a ton of sense in a Shanahan system. Here was David Carr, because Derek Carr plays for the Raiders. His brother, David Carr, who's a talking head in the media like myself, said, quote, John Lynch and Shanahan have proven to be very aggressive with personnel moves in the past. I could see them making a big move for the right player. There's been talk of Stafford and the Detroit Lions parting ways this coming offseason, and I can't think of a better option than to put Stafford on a team that has a legit chance to go back to the Super Bowl if healthy. The product Shanahan and Stafford would put on the field would rival that of Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, and it would be glorious. Now, don't take that final phrase out of context in terms of Mahomes and Reid the same as Shanahan and Stafford. The reason he brings this up is because Matt Stafford has a very similar arm to Patrick Mahomes. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's by no means as elite as Patrick Mahomes, but the arm talent is Patrick Mahomes. It's as close as you get with a starting quarterback in the National Football League. You'll never see it because the national media won't give him credit for it, but Stafford was the first and original guy to do those sidearm throws. He's the guy that was just pumping them out, and he does it still today. Those sidearm, off-platform, weird angle throws, Stafford has been that guy, and so don't think oh my gosh, he'll be the next Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. No, the idea here is you get an elite quarterback who's been underappreciated and underutilized and undercoached, really, in terrible systems. Matt Patricia was, trash. Not good at all. Pair him with a legit system with legit players and a great head coach. Could be fireworks, could make a lot of sense. Now, obviously, it's speculation. Will they actually trade for him? Who knows? Kyle Shanahan has put a lot of faith in Jimmy Garoppolo, so I'll let you guys pick. Who would you rather have at quarterback next year? I think a lot of people are typing MS down below. I think a lot of people like Matt Stafford. If I had to pick between the two, I would take Stafford. And I've been a big Jimmy G fan. You guys know this. I would take Stafford over Jimmy Garoppolo. But who knows? What if they want to draft a quarterback? Well, I'm glad you asked. This was also brought up in a Zoom interview, a Zoom media meeting with head coach Kyle Shanahan, where he didn't specifically say we're going to go get a mobile quarterback, but he kind of floated the idea. We'll read his comments here in just 1 second. And obviously, with the uncertainness and the uncertainty of the future with Jimmy Garoppolo, we know that Shanahan and John Lynch are going to be there. Do they want to get a new quarterback for the future? It could be a scenario where, a first-round mobile quarterback, you got to spend a first-round pick on him. They wait a little bit and get Kyle Trask, not necessarily mobile, but there are a couple mobile quarterbacks in this draft, and I think that Shanahan would at least take a look at them based on this. So here it says, this is a politically correct answer to a direct question about a mobile quarterback. Quote, how I evaluate everything is always changing. Things change. People change. You start to see you can win football games with any type of quarterback as long as they're good enough and you can get enough in hundreds of different ways. So I evaluate quarterbacks in terms of trying to find people who can have a chance to be one of those elite type guys. And there's lots of different ways to do that. Now, remember, this is a Kyle Shanahan who has only had pocket quarterbacks essentially his entire coaching career, at least at an elite level. He was an assistant in Washington with RG3 and was a part of the offense there. But really, he's been a Matt Ryan guy. He's been a Kirk Cousins guy, and obviously now a Jimmy Garoppolo guy. None of those are considered dual threat mobile quarterbacks. So even though he has backed up Jimmy Garoppolo and really has said he wants Garoppolo to be his quarterback in 2021, do we believe a head coach who says that halfway through an NFL season where they have been banged up? No, we don't. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, Thomas, Nick Mullens has been pretty good. Could he be the quarterback of 2021? The answer is really no. He's not done enough. It's very similar to different situations going on in the NFL right now with like Raheem Morris in Atlanta, who had to essentially win out as the interim head coach to keep the job. It's not going to happen. The same with Nick Mullens. If Nick Mullens would have won out, there could have been a shot. Problem is Nick Mullens has not won out and has a very real chance of not winning out the final 4 games, which I think would go ahead and doom his chances, if you will. I don't think it'll darken, doom it, but I think it would actually ruin his shot at being the starting quarterback in 2021. One side note on dual threat quarterbacks. So there are a lot of mobile quarterbacks in the NFL, but legit dual threat quarterbacks. Here are the quarterbacks that are the starting quarterbacks of division-leading teams right now in the NFL. Now, I know Daniel Jones, Drew Brees, technically hurt, but they would be the starters if healthy. Jones, Rodgers, Brees, Jared Goff. Those are your NFC division leaders at quarterback. Any dual threat guys in there? I mean, Rodgers is mobile, but this is by no means any of them actual dual threat quarterbacks. How about in the AFC? I mean, this gets even less dual threat-y. Josh Allen, not dual threat. Big Ben, no. Ryan Tannehill, definitely no. Is Mahomes a dual threat quarterback? Well, he's mobile and he moves around in the pocket well, but no, he's not a dual threat quarterback. The point is, we like the idea of a dual threat quarterback because that's what's in right now, especially in college. The fun, sexy read options, the RPOs, see Lamar Jackson rush for 3 touchdowns on Tuesday Night Football against the Cowboys. That's fun and fine and dandy, but I don't think it's a necessity for success in the National Football League, and this traffic hopefully proves it. Now, if you want a true dual threat guy, not a mobile quarterback who stays in the pocket, you want a true dual threat guy, that's Trey Lance. Now, Trey Lance, of course, sat out the entire 2020 season. North Dakota State, so he's not a D1 in terms of like Power 5 guy. But look at the career numbers. I mean, this is a guy who threw 30 touchdowns in 1 pick his entire career. And that's pretty darn good. He's going to be a first-round draft pick in the draft this year. He will start to rise after you see him at the combine because you can't watch him right now because he's sitting out. You won't think about him being a top name. You want to think Trask or Wilson or Fields or Lawrence. He's going to be either the 3rd or 4th quarterback, depending on where Wilson and Trask go, probably the 3rd or 4th quarterback taken in this draft. And so maybe you sneak him in the 2nd round, let him sit for a little bit. But if you want a dual threat guy, that's your option. Wanted to bring that up because Jan brought it up first. I will ask you guys this. This is actually a really good question. Who will be the starting quarterback for San Francisco week 1, 2021? If you had to bet right now, like literally all your money, who is the starting quarterback week 1, 2021? Is it Mullens? Is it Jimmy G? Is it Trey Lance? Is it somebody else? Is it Matt Stafford? Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. And let me just say this while you guys are commenting. Make sure you are subscribed. If you never watched this show before, first time stumbling upon it, click the big red subscribe button because we're nonstop 49ers every single day. And we're doing it literally 365. Like we cover it every single week, which means even if they don't make the postseason, we already get ramped up with the offseason news and stuff, and there's some really good stuff to go ahead and get into, obviously, this offseason, as it is every single offseason. So go ahead and subscribe. Quickly here, let's jump into the injury news on Sunday. Deebo Samuel is in question in terms of playing. He suffered a foot contusion in the loss to the Buffalo Bills. He didn't practice yesterday, and I don't think he practiced today either. It's uncertain if he will play. He obviously has a huge impact on this offense. I mean, I don't have to say it, right? Deebo's a big deal. They need him out there. I'm not sure if it's the same foot. They've not said if it's the same foot that he had, obviously, the foot injury earlier this year, but it is a little bit of a cause for concern in terms of playing on Sunday. I think he will, but they have not given us any indication of what will actually happen. Full injury report now on your screen. Tom Compton still in concussion protocol. DJ Jones, Emmanuel Moseley both did not participate due to the ankle and hamstring. K'Waun Williams was limited, but he's not expected to go on Sunday either. So not a terrible injury report, but the Deebo stuff is the thing to keep an eye on here. And while he should play, we haven't gotten an official word if he will or not. So I think follow me on Twitter at @RealThomasMott, because that's the best place to get notified whenever he is going to go ahead and play or not. He's been good. He was good last week. Ayuk has picked up a lot of slack when Deebo has been out, but him and Ayuk on the football field at the same time is crucial for a win on Sunday against a very good Washington secondary. I mean, really, really good. We previewed that in a video just yesterday here on the 49ers Report. What's your level of concern right now with the Deebo Samuel injury? Scale of 1 to 10. Where are you at right now? Would you put it at a 7, an 8, a 9? Like what's the level of concern if this were to happen on a scale of 1 to 10? Let me know down below in the comments section. Curious your guys' thoughts on this one overall. As we mentioned, obviously, it is an interesting matchup. It's a very good defense with Washington. This is something that people don't want to give the Washington football team credit to, just because they're 5-7 and not good on offense. But this is a top scoring, a top defense in terms of like every major statistical category. And I think that it's one that we should definitely keep an eye on overall in terms of, respecting them on their game on Sunday afternoon.